Conduit and tubing both serve to protect and route electrical wires and cables, but they differ significantly in their construction, applications, and the level of protection they provide. Conduit's primary purpose is to protect and route electrical wires and cables. It is typically made of rigid or flexible metal such as steel, aluminum, or stainless steel, or plastic such as polyvinyl chloride or acrylonitrile butadiene styrene. Conduit is typically cylindrical with a cross-section that allows wires or cables to pass through. Installation of conduit requires mounting brackets or fittings to secure it to walls, ceilings, or other surfaces. Conduit is suitable for both outdoor and indoor areas, and for exposed or concealed installations. The advantages of using conduit include that it provides robust mechanical protection for wires and cables, resisting damage from impact, moisture, and chemicals. Tubing, on the other hand, primarily serves to protect and guide wires and cables through small spaces or to provide insulation. Tubing is constructed from flexible or semi-rigid materials such as rubber, plastic like polyvinyl chloride or polyethylene, or metal, for example, aluminum. It often has a smaller diameter than conduit and can be flexible or corrugated. Tubing is usually installed without additional support or fittings. Its applications are generally limited to indoor environments, within walls or under floors, and typically for low voltage or communication cables. The advantages of tubing are that it provides protection from abrasion, dust, and moisture, while also being easy to install and bend around corners. Now let's delve deeper into the key differences. Firstly, protection. Conduit offers more substantial mechanical protection compared to tubing. It is designed to withstand significant physical stress and environmental hazards, making it suitable for harsh environments. Secondly, size. Conduit typically has a larger diameter than tubing. This allows it to accommodate more wires or larger cables, and also contributes to its greater structural strength. Thirdly, flexibility. Tubing is more flexible and easier to bend than conduit. This makes it ideal for navigating tight spaces or complex routes where rigid conduit would be difficult to install. Fourthly, installation. Conduit requires additional support and fittings for installation, while tubing can often be installed without them. This difference affects the installation time and cost, as conduit installations are generally more labor-intensive. Regarding use, conduit is used for exposed or concealed installations in various environments, while tubing is primarily used for indoor, low-voltage applications. Conduit is commonly found in industrial settings, outdoor locations, and areas where wires are at risk of damage. Tubing is frequently used within walls, under floors, or in cable trays to protect communication cables or low-voltage wiring. Considering the materials in more detail, metal conduit, such as steel or aluminum, offers superior protection against physical damage and electromagnetic interference. It is often used in environments where wires need to be protected from impact, crushing, or extreme temperatures. Plastic conduit, like polyvinyl chloride, is lightweight and corrosion-resistant, making it suitable for underground or damp locations. However, it may not provide the same level of mechanical protection as metal conduit. Flexible metal conduit allows for bends and turns during installation, which can be advantageous in tight spaces or where equipment movement is expected. Electrical metallic tubing, often referred to as electrical metallic tubing, is a thin-walled metal raceway that is lighter and easier to bend than rigid metal conduit, but it still provides good protection. When selecting between conduit and tubing, it is essential to consider the specific requirements of the electrical system and the environment in which it will be installed. Factors such as the voltage of the wiring, the type of environment, and the need for mechanical protection should all be taken into account. For instance, in a residential setting, non-metallic tubing might be sufficient for protecting low-voltage wiring within walls. However, in an industrial environment with heavy machinery and potential for physical damage, rigid metal conduit would be the more appropriate choice. Furthermore, local electrical codes and regulations dictate the types of wiring methods that are permitted in specific locations. The National Electrical Code, known as the National Electrical Code, provides guidelines for the proper installation and use of conduit and tubing to ensure electrical safety. Proper grounding is another critical consideration when using metal conduit or tubing. Grounding ensures that the electrical system has a safe path to ground in the event of a fault, reducing the risk of electric shock. Conduit and tubing are available in various sizes to accommodate different numbers and sizes of wires. The size of the conduit or tubing must be selected based on the fill capacity, which is the maximum amount of wire that can be safely installed within the raceway. Overfilling a conduit or tubing can lead to overheating and potentially cause a fire hazard. In addition to protecting wires and cables, conduit and tubing can also help to organize and manage wiring systems. By routing wires through raceways, the overall appearance of the installation can be improved and the risk of accidental damage to wires can be reduced. The choice between conduit and tubing also depends on the ease of installation. Tubing is generally easier and faster to install because it requires fewer fittings and supports. This can be a significant advantage in applications where time and labor costs are a concern. Conduit, on the other hand, may require specialized tools and expertise to install properly, especially when dealing with rigid metal conduit. The cost of conduit and tubing is another factor to consider. Tubing is typically less expensive than conduit, both in terms of materials and installation costs. However, the lower cost may be offset by the reduced level of protection that tubing provides. In summary, the selection of conduit or tubing depends on a variety of factors, including the level of protection required, the environment, the ease of installation, and the cost. By carefully considering these factors, it is possible to choose the most appropriate wiring method for a given application. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer to ensure that the electrical system is installed safely and in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. Understanding the differences between conduit and tubing is essential for anyone involved in electrical work, whether it's a professional electrician, a building contractor, or a do-it-yourself enthusiast. By understanding the strengths and limitations of each wiring method, one can make informed decisions that ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems. For example, consider a scenario where you are wiring a new outdoor lighting system. In this case, you would likely choose rigid metal conduit to protect the wires from the elements and potential physical damage. The conduit would be installed underground and securely attached to the light fixtures. Now, imagine you are running low-voltage communication cables within the walls of an office building. Here, you might opt for non-metallic tubing to protect the cables from abrasion and dust. The tubing would be installed easily without additional supports, and its flexibility would allow it to navigate around obstacles within the walls. In industrial settings where heavy machinery and corrosive chemicals are present, heavy-duty metal conduit is typically used to protect electrical wiring. This type of conduit is designed to withstand extreme conditions and provide maximum protection against physical damage and chemical exposure. In residential applications, flexible metal conduit is often used to connect appliances to electrical outlets. This type of conduit allows for easy movement of the appliance without stressing the wiring. When working with conduit and tubing, it is important to use the correct fittings and connectors. These fittings ensure that the raceway is properly sealed and grounded, and they provide a secure connection between the conduit or tubing and the electrical equipment. The selection of fittings depends on the type of conduit or tubing being used and the specific application. For example, when using rigid metal conduit, threaded fittings are typically used to create a secure and watertight connection. When using non-metallic tubing, pushing connectors are often used for quick and easy installation. Proper installation of conduit and tubing also involves using the correct tools. Conduit benders are used to create smooth, consistent bends in rigid metal conduit. Fish tapes are used to pull wires through long runs of conduit or tubing. Cable cutters are used to cut wires and cables to the correct length. In addition to understanding the differences between conduit and tubing, it is also important to be familiar with the various types of wires and cables that are used in electrical systems. The type of wire or cable used depends on the voltage, current, and application. Common types of wires and cables include thermoplastic high heat resistant nylon coated wire, thermoplastic heat resistant wire, underground feeder cable, and non-metallic sheath cable. Thermoplastic high heat-resistant nylon-coated wire is a general-purpose wire that is commonly used in residential and commercial wiring. Thermoplastic heat-resistant wire is a high-temperature wire that is used in appliances and fixtures. Underground feeder cable is a cable that is designed for underground installations. Non-metallic sheath cable is a cable that is used in residential wiring and is often referred to as Romex. When selecting wires and cables, it is important to consider the ampacity, which is the maximum amount of current that the wire or cable can safely carry. The ampacity of a wire or cable depends on its size, insulation, and temperature rating. Overloading a wire or cable can lead to overheating and potentially cause a fire hazard. The National Electrical Code provides tables that list the ampacity of various types of wires and cables. It is essential to consult these tables when selecting wires and cables for an electrical system. In conclusion, understanding the differences between conduit and tubing, as well as the various types of wires and cables, is crucial for anyone involved in electrical work. By making informed decisions and following proper installation practices, it is possible to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer if you have any questions or concerns about electrical wiring. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others from electric shock and fire hazards. Also, consider the impact of environmental factors on the choice between conduit and tubing. In coastal areas, where salt air can cause corrosion, plastic or coated metal conduit may be preferable to standard steel conduit. Similarly, in areas prone to earthquakes, flexible conduit or tubing can help to prevent damage to wiring systems. The long-term maintenance of conduit and tubing systems should also be considered. Regularly inspecting conduit and tubing for signs of damage, such as cracks, corrosion, or loose fittings, can help to prevent electrical problems. Repairing or replacing damaged conduit and tubing promptly can prevent more serious issues from developing. In addition to protecting wires and cables, conduit and tubing can also serve as a grounding conductor. When metal conduit or tubing is properly installed and connected, it can provide a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source, helping to trip circuit breakers and prevent electrical shocks. However, it is important to ensure that all connections are tight and corrosion-free to maintain the integrity of the grounding path. The use of grounding bushings and bonding jumpers can help to ensure a reliable ground connection. When working with electrical systems, always remember to energize the circuit before starting any work. This can be done by turning off the circuit breaker or removing the fuse that supplies power to the circuit. Use a voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized before touching any wires or components. Always wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and rubber gloves, when working with electrical systems. Follow all applicable safety codes and regulations. It is also essential to consider the aesthetic aspects of conduit and tubing installations. In some applications, it may be desirable to conceal the conduit or tubing behind walls or ceilings. In other cases, it may be necessary to leave the conduit or tubing exposed. When conduit or tubing is left exposed, it is important to choose materials and installation methods that are visually appealing. For example, painting conduit to match the surrounding decor can help to blend it in with the environment. Using neat and organized wiring practices can also improve the overall appearance of the installation. In modern construction, there is a growing trend toward using prefabricated conduit and tubing systems. These systems are manufactured off-site and then assembled on-site. Prefabrication can help to reduce installation time and costs, and it can also improve the quality and consistency of the installation. Another trend in electrical wiring is the increasing use of smart home technology. Smart home systems often require the installation of additional wiring for control and communication purposes. Conduit and tubing can be used to protect and organize this wiring, ensuring that it is installed safely and reliably. When planning an electrical wiring project, it is helpful to create a detailed wiring diagram. A wiring diagram shows the location of all electrical components, such as outlets, switches, and light fixtures, as well as the wiring that connects them. A wiring diagram can help to prevent errors during installation and make it easier to troubleshoot problems later on. There are many different software programs available that can be used to create wiring diagrams. These programs allow you to draw the diagram electronically and then print it out or save it as a file. Creating a wiring diagram can be a valuable tool for any electrical wiring project. Continuous learning is essential in the field of electrical work. New technologies and techniques are constantly being developed, and it is important to stay up to date with the latest advances. Attending continuing education courses, reading trade publications, and participating in industry events can help to expand your knowledge and skills. Maintaining a strong understanding of electrical theory and practice is essential for providing safe and reliable electrical services. In addition to the points discussed, the choice between conduit and tubing may also be influenced by the specific requirements of the equipment being powered. For instance, some types of electronic equipment are sensitive to electromagnetic interference, and metal conduit may be required to shield the wiring from this interference. Similarly, some types of equipment require a dedicated grounding conductor, and metal conduit can provide this grounding path. The specifications provided by the equipment manufacturer should always be consulted when selecting wiring method. The life cycle cost of conduit and tubing systems should also be considered. While tubing may be less expensive to install initially, conduit may have a longer lifespan and require less maintenance over time. Factors such as the environment, the type of materials used, and the quality of installation can all affect the life cycle cost of a wiring system. Performing a thorough cost analysis can help to determine the most economical wiring method for a given application.